Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 10:23 a.m. on the 16th of November 2023. It's a scathing hot morning, so we're sitting under the tree and only very light shade really. I don't have enough shade, even though my whole garden's replete with trees. They're not giving off much shade these days, so it's a bit disappointing. But first world problems, right? It's not really that bad. So I wanted to share with you my usual readings, and as I'm still playing catch up since that debacle with my iPhone storage, which was a bloody nuisance and has created a lot of extra work with all this having to go in every day. Fulfilling by my own will and choice the backlog. So today we will be reading my memories of the 14th of November 2023. And it's titled Magical Apogee Moon and Other Encounters. So let me just scroll down. And here is a photo taken by my friend on his phone, because my previous phone sucked at taking photos of the moon. And very, very lovely. I don't think it shows up, does it? Because you've got the reflection of me as well. Well, anyway, the thought was there, people. The thought was there. So it begins on the 14th of November 2022. Bear with me, my lungs are very bad today. I'm drinking mullein tea, but it's getting to the stage I probably should take my cap in hand and beg for antibiotics. But after the last one withheld antibiotics and left me to die, I have no confidence in GPs anymore. So I'm doing things naturally. But it's a long, hard slog. And a little bit life-threatening, quite frankly, not having proper antibiotics for my chest. But my cleaning lady's Rati's here, and when she arrived I was in the middle of a massive coughing fit, and so I'm a bit wrung out, quite frankly, but it's all good. It's another day above ground, people, living la vida loca, living my very best life, no matter what, under any circumstances, as an act of defiance. Now my laptop's done some weird thing. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Breathe, Tanya. To the malevolent, sardonic, unkind, unclean spirit that told me the other day you are punching far above your weight. Well, I have decided that I am not. I am merely striving to not just survive, but thrive against insurmountable odds. I am making jewellery in a COVID epoch where the entire global population has been terrorised into submission to unseen and unholy masters, at the behest of greedy entities that we can't even fight against, as they are mostly invisible or invincible. I am punching in my characteristic, defiant, manic, denialist ways by striving for excellence and integrity and burgeoning my creativity in multifaceted ways that might one day open up potentialities for me to live in a more prosperous, safer, financially independent mean than I have in the past 57 and a half years. Yes, I've been poor and once upon a time richer, but always at the mercy of capricious, vicious humanoids and their evil spirit assistants. So this time, a time of a zombie apocalypse where everyone is living in fear and trepidation due to governments and big pharma and toxic media and those willfully subscribing to death cults. Just before Christmas, it has unleashed itself. That thing that I believe they keep tweaking in laboratories. My defiance is manifesting as choosing life, my breath, my truth, and now a new business direction. Because the markets are not making any sales at all, in fact, are costing me money. I have made some sweet connections there, but the reality is it's not a social club, but supposed to bring a bit of extra money in, a business venture in a micro business model that with my health issues, CPTSD, is not working out for me. I need to be independent and work to my own time frames when I have the resources of energy and motivation. And you should read that really as when I have the hypermania which drives me like a demon to do so, which is very hit and miss, ergo the smart-ass comment from the spirit, punching far above my weight. Because they probably know it's killing me, all of this effort. It's 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. It literally fucking kills me. But never mind. I'm striving to live my best life, no matter what. Also, the nastiness was already seeping in. That didn't take very long, now did it? The Tanya, the empathic berserker weather vane, did not like the smell of sabotage already seeping into her delicate senses, like a putrescent veil or a fog of tyranny and delusion. I shoved it aside and reminded my fellow marketeers to choose life, no matter what. So on we go, strutting my stuff on my own terms, as it's the only way I can continue to survive. Everything is on the other side of fear. She wants to go in the tree. Whoops. Up to and including Lady Death herself. I can't quite see the scrolling button. It's driving me, but well, everything drives me nuts, doesn't it? Remember that. Remember that. Take your place and keep your head and own your own spirit before you gift it to someone or something that will not hold it as sacred as you do. And to the nasty, condescending people I met a few weeks back who chastised me for doing it alone, well, I am not completely alone, even though it all feels very overwhelming and daunting. I have my brave and fierce and beautiful friends who assist me in the things I need to achieve my goals. That is my spiritual wealth. True, loving, staunch friends. Also, the gods and spirits and fae that love me, and ancestors generations back who were not tainted by the demonic influences of my immediate family of origin. I don't know who these positive, fierce, formidable ancestors were that have my back. The ones that sent me Sir James Douglas in October 2018 when I was running a fever, but although I have no ken if he was an ancestor of mine, I do know he showed himself and gifted me his name as he came to protect me. In the gods, the ancient ones, I trust. Yesterday, I was so exhausted after my day at the market, and I literally ran into Woolies to grab a hot chicken. There were none left. So Miss Five, in her altered berserker state, grabbed lollies and chocolate and bread rolls and ran to the checkout. I was in a hurry to get home to Beauregard and felt faint with exhaustion. Also primal, ergo the lollies, laughing my ass off. Yes, I am that nuts. The beautiful young Muslim woman at the checkout met my gaze. She motioned to me to go to her checkout. I nodded slightly, then raced to meet her at her station. Some loutish man was at the checkout, but almost purposely shoved his trolley into the front of her checkout, effectively blocking me. We two women looked at each other askance, but the Tanya was on her mightiest of her last nerves. Something the Muslim woman must have recognized: trauma activation. So slickly, without a word, she moved to the next empty checkout, and I, following her intention, slid past the toxic zombie male and alighted in front of the Woolies worker with the determination of the damned. Calmly, I stated to her, "Thank you for your kindness. That was very quick thinking of you. I was feeling a bit frenzied as there are no chickens left and not much for my dinner tonight. So thank you for serving me so well." She smiled and said the chickens must have sold out already. I nodded. I said, "It's been a long day, and it is, after all, Sunday." But yes, her quick thinking and willingness was truly surprising. She must have witnessed my distress, or saw a woman who was rising above yet another blockade. Whether deliberate or not, it was a bit startling and almost comical. The sisterhood had my back, a Muslim sister, and today Jared, my friend and adopted brother, had my back by creating a square-up website so I can stop these insanely stressful shenanigans and go back to my long-held stance of not belonging to any clubs that will have me as a member, or pull my strings, or other ignoble sabotaging tests, so I can get on with what I do best: creating, dreaming, fighting, inspiring, and connecting to authentic people devoid of divisive, sabotaging devices. Yay! So a bit later on I wrote, I need to soothe the bastard ancestors in my immediate family who have blocked me from financial success and true love partnerships. Smiley face. But today my friend Jared worked hard for me in creating a new business website, because moving on is not the same thing as giving up, and I am entering a new phase in my life where all abundance, joy, love partnerships and solid connections with good, kind people and spirits are now manifesting, with harm to none, with competition with and from none, and my evil ancestors can just stay in their corners and rattle their chains as I am done with my apprenticeship of pain. Them's fighting words. Yes, they are. But for every monster that held me back or tried to kill me, I have gorgeous earth angels and truly wonderful friends who have my back and my front. Thank you to Jared, Lynn, Sally, and all the others who have saved me for my best and most powerful and most delightfully joyful outcome. Kiss, kiss, kiss. So that was in response to I don't know how you describe it, a note written by Ahamkara, who was a Siberian shaman, so the real McCoy. Well, I'm the real McCoy too, but I don't have that lineage. I have my own style, which is healing with words, and the occasional rain dances and offerings to spirits, but mainly I heal with words. Anyway, he wrote, shamans can call for help not only from their ancestors, but also the ancestors of clients that came to them. It's usually an ancestor who was a shaman, if there was one in the family, but more often shamans call for an ancestor from whom the person's problem came along the family branch. To fix this completely, you need to get to the basics, to the beginning. Sometimes this may not be an easy task. Especially with all the evil spells my own mother did on me. Truth, by the way. Sometimes this may not be... Why won't that scroll down? Come on, seriously? Sometimes this may not be an easy task, but strong shamans are able to cope with it and sometimes even help people meet their ancestors themselves and see where the problem came from and how to solve it. Oh dear goddess. Well, the majority of my problems came from my mother's intergenerational trauma, which came from her grandmother, which came from probably her mother and her mother before her. And if we got to the root of the problem, we'd have to go right far back. And I only have the family history as far back. The known history as far back as I have a little bit of knowledge about my grandmother's mother, and that's it, you know. I don't know what kinds of people my matrilineal line were further back. I mean, I have them written up and listed in my ancestry, but they're just dry facts. We have no idea what kind of women and the father's line, what kind of men they were. So there is that. My wonderful and talented friend Jared just created a website for my Titania's Realm business. Thank you, Jared. It's wonderful. And here's the front page of it. He made a beautiful fairy for me, if you can see it through the reflections. And my Titania's Realm business is active on Instagram if you're curious to have a look at, you know, the jewellery I'm making. I'm not asking you to buy anything because I don't beg people for money. But if you have a look and you're interested and you see anything you want to buy, I would be gratefully honoured to have your custom. But yeah, the website for it is just under the bio on the Instagram link. So yeah, feel free to have a look. At least you can see, really it's kind of another vlog where you can see me making things or posting up what I've made, and you know, taking pride in my small creations, because it's a learning curve I'm on, and I really enjoy it. I haven't made jewellery all week because I've been focusing on these YouTube videos, and I need to buy some more silver, and I'm sort of in a bit of a slump with that at the moment. But I will. I've got lots of things I'm still wanting to make. So it's a journey of 1,000 steps, right? 1,000 miles, beginning with 1,000 steps. 14th of November 2021. Very unwell today, extremely fatigued and upset tummy. Some sore where my glasses press on the top of my nose between my eyes, which really hurts. I have been watching YouTube videos. It was a lovely day. So you see how I will flounder around between, you know, being very unwell, and then I'll suddenly come to full vibrancy and then work myself almost to death and then go back to floundering. That's my spirit, people. I've lived like that since since infancy, really. I even had an astrologer that did my chart when I was 11 years old say that my energy would ebb and flow like the tides, and it truly does. There's times when I can't even get out of bed. I'm so debilitated, and yet within an hour or two I can be up dancing wildly and creating and fully vibrant and evanescing and effervescing and wild, and but I can't sustain it. It's always comes in bursts. That's why I make a practice every Friday night, or it used to be Saturdays as well, but I can't sustain 2 nights now. But my practice in the weekend as a single woman is to go out dancing wildly every weekend, as long as my health allows, because that sets a routine for my body. It sets a pattern for the rest of the week, and helps me divest of excess spiritual energy, because I'm doing my tribal shamanic dance. Get into the zone, I get into trance, I get insights, and sometimes, very often, messages from spirit. Or if I don't get messages from spirit over the course of the next few days, when I'm in downtime from the wild dance, I will get massive surges and inspirations and ideas and openings in my creativity. So the dance once a week is supremely important to it's part of my creative process. It's part of my spirit, and it's also good for my health to have that, you know, sustained exercise for, you know, 2 to 3 hours. I mean, I have to take quite a few breaks in between the dancing because of my lungs. But, you know, at one stage, not that long ago, only about 6 months ago, I'd come back from a bit bit of an illness, and I'd actually managed to get my stamina up to dancing for 5 hours. But since I've been at the Brooklyn Standard, the bands I follow start at 11 and finish at 2, so I'm only really getting 3 hours, but that's enough because I haven't been all that well with my lungs anyway. So 3 to 5 hours is my maximum, right? 5 hours is a little bit overkill. If I dance for a full 5 hours, I'm a zombie for about 4 days, you know, and then build up, and out we go again. But it's an absolute imperative that I sustain the dancing, you know, for my own joy and for my physical exercise needs and for my spirit. So, and it's also my only opportunity to be out and, you know, in the real world, mingling with other people, you know, like I don't overly mingle, but I'm, you know, just having people around me, and might stop and have a quick chat to, you know, people, and have a chat to the bartenders when they serve me a drink, and have a chat to my friends in the band when they have their break, you know. It's a bit of a social outlet. I'm a single woman and I live alone, isolated in my sacred space garden, you know, Saturday to Friday. Like, I'm entitled to have that outlet at least. So, and as I said, there was quite some years when I danced at the Live Wire Bar at the casino, where I went dancing both Friday and Saturday nights. And that, my friends, I was a bit slimmer in those days because of all that exercise. It was actually very good for me, but it used to kill me too. Like, it did knock me down for, you know, the usual 3 to 4 days afterwards. So as I said in another video, I've worked hard to sustain my body, mind and spirit on planet Earth in this time frame continuum, space-time continuum. I can't get this thing to work. Why won't it work? Oh, there, I've got it. It's bloody annoying. I can't quite see the sidebar, so that's why I'm looking all frowny and gnashing my teeth, frustrated. Because I actually don't like incompetence, not even when it's coming from me, right? I've got that European work ethic of, you know, if you're going to do something, do it properly or not at all, which did stymie me for years when I couldn't function properly and knew there's no point even trying because I wasn't ever going to be able to do it. So I'm doing very well, believe it or not, that I'm even trying now. Who knows where my future might lead? If I can beat back my lung issues and my bladder issues, I might come good. I might be a fully functioning warrior goddess, wild woman one day. Wouldn't that be cool? So, 14th of November 2020, I'm at the Royal Mail Goodna, where I went to support Billy Williams from the Hip Shooters, which is a blues band that I very much like. I'm not an overly huge fan of blues, but I do like, if I'm going to go and watch the blues, I go and watch the Hip Shooters. And there goes my blooming side thing again. Right, I'm just going to leave my finger on it, then I won't keep stuffing up, right? But I talk with my hand, so I'll move the finger off and we'll bet where we started. Anyway, I had a great time. Some good people from Goodna worried that I was alone and invited me to join their table and have a beer with them. We even got to dance. Marvellous. I told Tonu, the woman originally from Samoa, that I am accustomed to being alone and was not bored at all. Her husband Mina was hilarious. His friend, who hailed from Wimbledon originally, was funny too, although he got a wee bit too affectionate towards the end, but it was harmless enough. I teased Mina and Bob about their bromance and guessed, because I am psychic, that they used to work together, and that is where they forged their bond. Tonu was feeling a bit left out, so she asked me to dance, so that brought a bit of balance into the dynamic. Mina said that we are all such odd people. I replied that I never met a normal person in my life, and what is normal anyway? We had fun together. Nice, earthy people. Tonu had tribal Samoan tattoos on her legs. I didn't know that Samoan women tattooed their thighs. I wanted to ask her more about it, but didn't want to be rude. She told me she is the daughter of a chief. I said, I am in the presence of royalty, and thanked her for her kindness in including me, and I had indeed lost my confidence because of COVID. I felt awkward and uncomfortable for the first hour, but eventually my anxiety settled. And you see, I moved my hand and now I lost the bar. But what I meant by that, I hadn't caught COVID, but by the COVID mandates tamping us down, locking us in our homes, and it was like probably one of the first forays back out again, that I had lost my confidence. I was an absolute nervous wreck. So it was extremely kind of Tonu to invite me to their table and include me and worry that I was alone, although one should never worry about me being on my own. I'm very, very comfortable. Sometimes feel quite good and grounded on my own. It's been that way for, 29 years. And let's face it, even when I was married, as a young woman, I was alone then too, under attack from my familial enemies. So I'm not the least bit afraid of being alone and isolated. But it is nice, and it is heartwarming, and it is a sweetness to be included when I'm out, And I do the same, by the way. I had people that used to come to the casino looking all shy and nervous, women mostly. I'm more welcoming to the women for obvious reasons, and I would include them. And some of those friends I made are still very grateful to this day that I included them, which you should not have to be grateful, by the way. But they were just touched that I did the human thing and didn't exclude them. So 14th of November 2019, another scathing hot day. 14th of November 2018, 5 hours sleep, but Oberon is coming together nicely. Last night I made his breeches. I still need to sew up his body, arms and legs and stuff him. Then make his hair and wings and do his face. Bloody ants in my cup. I am tired but content with my lot. It is a cool morning. I let Charlie and the hens out. Penny ate her breakfast but is back in bed with me. Penny, by the way, is and was my cat, one of my cats, my most devoted cat actually. She loved me so deeply and profoundly. She was one of my healers, that cat, a true soulmate. Now I've lost the bar again. Blinking hell. Blimmin' hell. Right, here we are. How am I going to do this? I can't even find my map. Oh, there it is. Right, back in the game, people. back in the game. P.S. No, I've lost it again. Oh, this is getting crazy making. P.S. P.S. The breeches looked awful. I ran out of one colour of wool, so tried to match something similar. But in the light of day, no. So spent an hour unravelling them and have just knitted up another pair from a skein of wool that was enough to complete the task. 14th of November 2017. Really unwell again. I haven't fully recovered from the putrid jaw and teeth nerve pain. I think the heavy medications have upset my gut flora. Pardon me. Gonna have to buy more yogurt and eat more fermented vegetables. "14th of November 2016. If you've ever seen this show, I highly recommend. It's really dark and surrealist and weird, but Katja and Detox, very, very dark but funny. Jared and I nearly died laughing because, of course, it triggers us with my mad mother and his mad grandmother coming from, well, Czechoslovakia or wherever she thought she came from. So, yeah. So, you kind of have to have European background to sort of get the bizarre self-immolating humour. Mother, the drag queens have stolen from my life again. So if you go and watch that video, Reunion with Katja and Detox, you'll get why I thought that was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, but dark. Just found out what the smell of burning plastic was caused by. Switch under the house has flipped the main safety switch, so I've rung housing to send an electrician to check on the wiring. Fuck my life, more hassles. But I wondered what wiring was burning out, as I have smelled it for a while now. I thought it was my neighbour Timsa setting fires at his place, lol. She has a habit of doing from time to time. Unapologetic apogee moon brought me a night of little sleep. Just under 5 hours. I was exhausted too. Thanks, universe, for fucking with my highly sensitive limbic system. I went to bed at 1 a.m. but watched a movie about an Israeli shaman named Yitzhak Beery until 2 a.m. It was interesting, but my mind was racing and I was busy manifesting. I do that a lot lately. Wish, hope, dream, pray, or variously beg God to no real avail. But hey, I try, right? I have to get up soon to drive to the mechanic at 10 a.m. for the much needed and long overdue car service. Which reminds me, I've got to buy tyres for my car too. I've got to organise that soon. There goes the rest of my advance. I pray there is enough money left to get... Ants are biting me. We're going to get rain. They bite me when we're going to get rain. They're vicious. Nasty little anties. No, look at this. Crawling all over me. I pray there is enough money left to get Bobo de-sexed, but until he has serviced the car, I won't know for sure if there are any extra repairs needed. I have $800 left, so that is not going very far, hence my anxiety. Manifestation. I have plenty of money. Money comes to me quickly and easily. I always have more than enough. Actually, that is partially true. The universe gives me a regular pension so I can pay rent in a government house. Oh, those ants. And survive to pay bills and buy basic food. Not quite enough, but it means that I can exist without having to go to work and struggle with bullying and or exhaustion and still not enough money as happened before. Don't get me started on the workplace bullying people. Holy fuck, it was bad. Very, very, very bad. So I am grateful. But the car maintenance can only happen when I get an advance, and that is always a scary time. A car is a luxury. I know that, but my freedom is imperative. So here we go. Another day in paradise. 14th of November 2014. I never give up on love, even though all my would-be lovers lied, cheated, betrayed and strayed. That is why I live alone with animals. They never lie about how they feel about you. Their love is always fearless and true. I never totally give up that one day I may meet a human man who is capable of loving me in a happy, healthy, authentic and life-enhancing way. But then I am the psychedelic dreamer. Dreams are the gateway to the miraculous manifestation. Without them, I have no hope at all. And that was in response to an article on why you should never give up on love. I'm beginning to think it's just a soul trap and a delusion and just a long wounding form of torture for me, really. But I was told decades ago, when I was still a young woman in my early 30s, that I would meet or find, or they would find me, or however it works, the one when I'm 60. So that kept me in a soul trap of holding out for hope against hope, right, for the last 30 years. Oh dear goddess. Oh dear goddess. But anyway, 14th of November 2013. I had an appointment at the dental hospital today to see the sadist government-employed Russian dentist. Now, Russian dentists are usually excellent. My stepfather used to travel on Russian ocean liners so he could get excellent dentistry somewhere between the equator and Europe. He swore by Russian dentists. What do I get when I go to the public hospital? The only sadistic schmuck Russian dentist in the known cosmos, right? Well, probably not the only one, but she was a specialist, that one. Oh dear goddess. Baba Yaga had nothing on her. Oh, she was a monster. But anyway, not being well, mentally or physically, I found I could not sleep last night, even though I took the extra bit of Seroquel at midnight to sleep. I was still thrashing my body and legs around. Restless leg syndrome, lack of oxygen at 4 a.m. I set my alarm for 7 a.m. as a builder was coming to repair the front landing between 7 and 8 a.m. Mysteriously, I never heard the builder arrive, so have no idea if he assessed the damage or didn't turn up, lol. I never heard the alarm at all. Some inner alarm or guardian angel intent on me fixing my toothy problems woke me up at 10:30 a.m. I lay there, shocked and exhausted, pondering how I had 30 minutes to get up and drive to QE2 Hospital until 10:38 a.m. QE2 hospital is about 15-minute drive from me, so it was doable, but it was a bit Then it was a dazed, autopiloted trip to the hospital. I was so out of it, I am not sure I should be driving, so I was careful. I made it in time, because I'm an achiever. I can do anything when I set my mind to it. She cleaned the teeth, gave me another appointment. Oh God, no, 2 fillings. I went home, right back to bed. I awoke again at 5:30 a.m. to the wild sounds of a very productive storm with lashings of much needed rain. Happy woman here. The prednisone helped my lungs, but contributed to my hypomania all week, so I feel quite exhausted now. 14th of November 2012. I had a lovely day with Lynn. Well, that's not a lovely day. Wait till you hear this, people. This will blow your head back. This is my idea of a lovely day. I need therapy. I had a lovely day with Lynn. We booked a joint skin scan appointment and had our melanomas removed. My very first one. Eek! Lucky it was early, meaning lucky it was caught early. Later I bought 2 hens to replace my girls that were killed the previous night, and another sack of laying mash, because I'm intrepid like that too. Then I spent the arvo settling the 2 new hens into their new home. And that was all done after having a massive melanoma moved out of my skin, because I go into full-on work mania when I have cancers cut out of my body. Like this one that was cut out of my hand, you can't quite see the scar now, it runs down there and a little bit across there. When that was done, I came home, and it must have been a trauma response because I was out of my mind, still bandaged. And over in that corner of the garden over there, with my bandaged, freshly excised cancer taken out of it, still swollen, hammered and smashed a star picket down to hold some tree up or something I had over there at the time. It was insane, people. And then, of course, it hurt afterwards, like, duh. And so then I went on the side, I got on the phone, I went, oh yeah, Lynn. She said to me immediately, because she knows me so well, she said, what have you done? What did you do? Oh, my hand hurts a bit. What did you do? Oh, I hammered in a star picket. She said, with your sore hand? I went, yes. And I swear to God, I think that this kind of madness comes over me. I think it's a reaction to the anaesthetic, because it's happened quite a few times. The last cancers that were cut out, I went to, it wasn't in my hand. Who was the last cancer that was cut out? They were on my shoulders. That was excruciating. It was all across my arm, back of my shoulder. And I went to lift my shoulder to lift something heavy and do something. And as I lifted my shoulder, I looked at my hand and I went, don't do it, girlfriend. You're going to rip all the stitches open. It's going to take months to heal. And why do you harm yourself when you've just had cancers cut out? Like, why? Why? That's the only thing I do that is really weird self-harming. Apart from overeating and falling in love with maniacs. But yeah, it was so strange. But I must have matured a little, because I actually said, nah, fool, you go back in that house and you lie down on that bed and you be an invalid for a few days. Like, just stop overachieving like a maniac. Like, what have you got to prove anyway? I had to literally talk myself down. And it was so hard, because every time I'd go outside and go to do something in the garden, it's almost beneath consciousness. It's almost like an altered state. And then I'd lift my arm up, and no, don't do that. Don't, just don't. So, yeah, but But I was in a lot of bloody pain with the last few skin cancers in my shoulders. It was, even the surgery was heinous and horrific, and he was screaming at me about why didn't I tell him that I was in pain. I said, I'm literally crawling up the freaking bed saying, ouch, 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 what do you want me to do, hit you in the head? Like, honestly, it was weird. It was really weird. But anyway, he's gotten used to me now. I've gotten a bit used to him, and he gives me slightly better pain relief now. But I think part of my problem with my PTSD, CPTSD issues is that, I have really strong reactions to anaesthetics, but also when they're doing like the local anaesthetics, it doesn't touch the sides. I actually need extra because I get trauma activated and my body just reacts more intensely to pain than normally, you know. So anyway, that was a hard journey. 2022. That was awful, really awful. I had the cancers done when I was very ill with a very bad, it wasn't COVID, but it was a very bad bronchitis that went on for months and months, and I was so weakened. And then my psychiatrist went a bit hysterical because he said, have you had your skin cancers checked? And I said, no, I'm not going near any motherfucking doctors. I said to him, you're the only doctor I trust. I said to Brian, you know, which is true, really. By and large, he's the only one I still trust, because he's a deeply good man who has my back. So he freaked out. He said, you need to go ASAP. I said, why? He said, well, one of my clients' husband, one of my patients' husband, a very young man still in his early 30s, has just metastasized with his skin cancers, didn't even know it, and he's dying, Tanya. And he said to me, you're riddled with them at any given time, you need to keep on top of it. And you know what, he was just being a worrywart. It probably wouldn't have mattered that much, but he scared the bejesus out of me that I was going to die of skin cancers too, while simultaneously I was actually almost dying of my lung issues at that point in time. But I thought, oh well, you know, if Brian's so frightened for my continuance on this planet, I better do the right thing and, you know, listen to him, since he is, after all, a qualified consultant psychiatrist. But to be a psychiatrist, you have to have spent years as a doctor, you know, a normal medical practitioner. So yeah, I won't disrespect his, you know, years of training by going, nah, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so off I went, booked in with this skin doctor, the one I still go to. And oh my God, it was so fucking painful and so fraught. And to be honest, I was a bit angry for putting myself through that, because I knew that it was too much attacks on my body autonomy when I was struggling with my lungs, right? But yeah, I fought that battle, a double halberd battle on two fronts, getting that done while gasping for air and coughing up a lung, hardly able to walk. I was so weakened. So I fought that battle, and here we are, a year and a half later, still kicking on. And there's a lovely fat kookaburra on my Hills hoist. Cookie! Cookie, 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 cookie! So yes, but on that note, so concludes, sorry about that, Marlene T is working. So concludes today's readings of, what date was it we were reading? The 14th of November 2023. And have a beautiful day and many bright blessings, and stay healthy, stay sane in the membrane, stay true to like glue to your true loves, beloveds, friends, family, and doctors if you have at least one good one in your life like I do. And enjoy the birds and the wildlife and the garden. And if you live by the ocean, the sea, or if you live in the desert, wherever you are in your sacred space on planet Earth, and take delight in our Mother Earth, our only true mother, and take delight in your ability to heal yourselves, as I am doing, a daily process, and love each other, turn on your heart lights, and never give up, never cede, never yield to the oppressors and the tyranny. Hold your own little stance on your own little spot on planet Earth, and enjoy your life and be free. God's bless. Bye for now.